Hello, this is Jamie Maybirch. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. So let's get started. I'm going to be using Pear Pizzaz, Pacific Point, and Balmy blue ink. I'm going to be using the Stitch Snowflake dies. Welcoming Woods, I'm just using the snowflakes in there. And then this sentiment, every season brings its own wonder. I just love the font of that. And for cardstock, I have a 1/2 by 5.5 inch piece of white, 1 1/2. I have a 1 3/4 by 5.5 inch piece of Pear Pizzaz, a 2 by 5.5 inch piece of Pacific Point, a bow tied with linen thread, and my card base 5.5 by 8.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, then I have out of crumb cake, I've die cut this shape from the Tasteful Labels dies, and I've die cut one snowflake, this snowflake here, from the Stitch Snowflake dies. I'm going to be using Holiday Rhinestones, and let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is bring in this brown piece. I've got Pacific Point and Pear Pizzaz ink and a blending brush. Ink that up. I'm going to ink one side of this, the Pacific Point. The other side with Pear Pizzaz. I want quite a lot of the Pear Pizzaz. Go back with some Pacific Point to blend it in. So I have that. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in this piece. Let's turn this way. Bring in the snowflakes. I'm going to start with the Pear Pizzaz and the green ink. I'm going to stamp this here. I'm going to move down, turn it a little bit, stamp it again. I'm going to stamp it in the green ink 4 times. Turning it each time so that it's slightly different orientation. Okay, then I'm going to bring in a chamois, clean it off. I'm done with the Pear Pizzaz ink, so we can put that away. Come in with the Balmy blue. And I'm going to use that same stamp, and I'm going to just fill in some spots. I'm trying not to overlap too much, so I'm twisting it where I need to, so I'm not overlapping 100% on the green. Filling in between them. Here. Okay, just stamp it off to get the ink off. Then I'm going to come in with the Pacific Point, and I'm going to add a few of these. And again, I don't want to cover the green ones completely, so just kind of twist it until you figure out where you can add it, where you're going to overlap a little bit, that's fine, but you don't want to cover everything. One more down here. Let's see. I think right there. Okay, so that's that stamping. And I gotta find my sentiment and I'll be right back. Alright, I found the sentiment. Now I'm gonna bring in my card base. And I'm actually gonna stamp directly on the card base. So open it up. I'm gonna use that Pacific point. I'm gonna stamp over at this side, down at the bottom. Like a 1/4 inch from the side, a 1/4 inch from the bottom. Straight down, hold it for a few seconds, and straight up. And these are photopolymers, so you don't want to push on them too hard because then it mushes the image. Okay, now we can assemble our card. Let's come in with these pieces. Move this out of the way. And I need some glue. Okay, we're going to mount this piece that we stamped onto our pear pizzaz. Even border. If you want to do it cattywampus so the border is not even, that's fine too. This one's going to get mounted on the Pacific point. Now this one I'm going to move over a little bit to the left side, so the border on the right side's a little bit wider. Go ahead and add this to the front of the card. And I want to leave a little bit of white edge on this side as well. Okay, come in with our snowflakes. And I'm going to be using a glue dot to adhere the snowflake to the inked piece. Right in the center of it. That'll give it a little bit of dimension, but it won't pop it up too high. Stick that right in the center. Now I'm going to come in with a dimensional. Put a couple dimensionals on the back of this one. You could do just one, but I like a little bit more. Take those backs off. Find if I poke them with, it pops up the edges. Now I want the blue edge over onto here so it just shows a little bit better. Overlap the layers. Now we'll come in with that glue dot again. I'm going to roll it up, do a little ball. Put it on the back of my bow. And this is just a double bow with linen thread. It's going to get glued right here. Now we're going to come in with those rhinestones. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool. This little sticky end on there. And I'm going to pick up the large one. And It's going to go right in the center of that snowflake. And I have two little ones left. Whoops, pick it up. Put them over here. One there. And one there. And that's our card today. There's one we made together. That's bit. Little bit. And there's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.
And your cat.